Singer has left his song on the air, hunter has hung up his horn. After the day, the long, long night, after the night, the dawn.
All the good times are past and gone, all the good times are o'er. All the good times are past and gone, little darling, don't you weep no more.
I don't want a seat at your table so bright, I don't want a bed on your floor. You can't hunt me down through the forests of love and nail up my hide on your door.
All the good times are past and gone, all the good times are o'er. All the good times are past and gone, little darling, don't you weep no more.
Forget all the teeth that threaten to tear, forget all the pains in your head. The meek and the weak shall inherit the earth, the savage and dishonest are dead.
All the good times are past and gone, all the good times are o'er. All the good times are past and gone, little darling, don't you weep no more.
Build me a boat where the willows once grew, where the vole and the otter swam free. Row me away from this desolate land, make for the open sea.
All the good times are past and gone, all the good times are o'er. All the good times are past and gone, little darling, don't you weep no more.
For the
Singer has left his song on the air, hunter has hung up his horn. After the day, the long, long night, after the night, the dawn. All the good times are past and gone, all the good times are o'er. All the good times are past and gone, little darling, don't you weep no more. All the good times are past and gone, all the good times are o'er. All the good times are past and gone, little darling, don't you weep no more.
I never sailed the Amazon, and I never reached Brazil. But the Don and the Magdalena, they can go there when they will. And weekly from Southampton, great steamers white and gold go rolling down to Rio. Roll down to Rio, and I'd like to roll to Rio someday before I'm old. Well, I've never seen a jaguar, nor yet an armadillo. Oh, Dillowing in his armor, and I suppose I never will, unless I go to Rio, these wonders to behold. Go rolling down to Rio, roll really down to Rio, and I'd like to roll to Rio someday before I'm old. Yes, I'd love to roll to Rio. Someday before I'm old. A great while ago there was a schoolboy who lived in a cottage by the sea, and the very first thing he could remember was the rigging of the schooners by the quay. He could watch them from his bedroom window with the big cranes a-hauling out the freight. And he used to dream of shipping as a sea cook and a sailing for the Golden Gate. He used to buy the yellow penny dreadfuls. He'd read 'em where he fished for conger eels. As he listened to the slapping of the water, the green and oily water round the keels. Now there were trawlers with the shark-mouthed flatfish, and the red nets a-hanging out to dry. And the skate the skipper kept because he liked 'em, and the landsman never knew which ones to fry. And there were brigantines of timber out of Norway, just oozing with the syrups of the pine. There were rusty, dusty freighters out of Sunderland, and the clippers of the Blue Cross Line. To tumble down a hatch into a cabin was better than the best of broken rules, for the smell of 'em was like a Christmas dinner, and the feel of 'em was like a box of tools. And before he went to sleep in the evenings, the last thing that he would ever see was the sailor men a-dancing in the moonlight by the capstan that stood beside the quay. Now he's sitting on a high stool in London. The Golden Gate is very far away, for they caught him like a squirrel and they caged him. Now he's totting up accounts and turning grey, and he'll never, never get to San Francisco. And the last thing that he will ever see is the sailor men a-dancing in the moonlight by the capstan that stands beside the quay, to the tune of the old concertina by the capstan that stands beside the quay. Oh, the Hudson's Bay Company run ships in the summertime, and they stock the stores of the Labrador, and they stock them full for the winter time. Bay Rupert set sail from the Clyde, bound out for Newfoundland. But to get to Hopedale, don't you know, you'd be better off by land. Oh, they've got no charts on the Labrador, all you hear is stay away. For there's rocks and ice, dark as hell at night, from Jack Lane's Way to Broomfield Bay. They got wooden ships, steamer ships, frozen men below. They've got mountains right beneath your keel, so for God's sake don't you go. She had shoes and coffee, boots and tea, butter, pipes and bridles, sleeping bags and saddle soap, and she brought a gross of Bibles. She was open wide, steaming through the tide, when she hit them granite rocks. Both her ends went down with a mighty sound, and the middle opened up. Oh, they've got no charts on the Labrador, all you hear is stay away. For there's rocks and ice, dark as hell at night, from Jack Lane's Way to Broomfield Bay. They got wooden ships, steamer ships, frozen men below. They've got mountains right beneath your keel, so for God's sake don't you go. It was Sunday when that ship went down. The town was all to prayer. No missionary minister with the words of God could have kept him there. All's lost, our captain cried, we'll never sail no more. All's found, yelled the Innu as they ran down to the shore. When the tide came in, the goods did too. They saved them from the sea, saying it's great to be doing business with the Hudson's Bay Company. We got shoes and coffee, boots and tea, butter, pipes and bridles. We got sleeping bags and saddle soap. But to hell with all them Bibles. You got no charts on the Labrador. All you hear is stay away. For there's rocks and ice dark as hell at night. From Jack Lane's Way to Broomfield Bay, they got wooden ships, steamer ships, frozen men below. They've got mountains right beneath your keel, so for God's sake don't you go. They've got mountains right beneath your keel, so for God's sake don't you go. They've got mountains right beneath your keel, so for God's sake don't you go. For they've got no charts on the Labrador. Larry Kaplan. There's a grey old lady sitting by the pier at Halifax. When they made her kind, they threw away the mould. And it seems like no one needs her nowadays, and that's a fact, as she sits beside the ocean, growing old. She never was a movie queen, and glamorous she sure ain't been. Many men have loved her just the same. When she and they were in their prime, in a bygone age we call wartime, H.M.C.S. Sackville made her name. When freedom called for every hand to turn to on the sea and land, Sackville sailed outside the limelight's glare, with 4-inch gun and depth-charge racks to guard against the U-boat packs. The convoys made a bridge from here to there. Though not much faster than the tramps, with the lease-lend tub sent by the Yanks, she shepherded her flocks across the foam. For 3 long years she did her job like a faithful, fearless collie dog. Then duty done, she steered a course for home. But in the aftermath of war, too many heroes are a bore, and each one just gets lost amid the throng. Words like duty, honor, pride are far too swiftly set aside, and peacetime voices sing a different song. But take a walk down Sackville Street, to the bottom where the harbour meets the town that Nova Scotians call their own. In livery white, blue and grey, you'll find her harboured safe today. For H.M.C.S. Sackville has come home. The last corvette has finally found a home. With With just a quick glance from the truck to the keel, you'd think she was nothing but old rusting steel. It's a miracle she's still around in these days. A century's passed since she slipped down the ways. Long after the steamers ruled all seven seas, this was the name still made sailors' blood freeze. Peking, Peking, the name seems to ring, and to see her in South Street would make your heart sing. Long after the steamers ruled all seven seas, Peking was the name still made sailors' blood freeze. She was built when the rest of the trade turned to steam. To the liners who spied her, she seemed like a dream. She was bigger and faster when under all sail, with a gale on the beam and the seas o'er the rail. Both hands for the ship, then she'll take care of you, the apprentices, mates, the old man and the crew. Peking, Peking, the name seems to ring, and to see her in South Street would make your heart sing. Long after the steamers ruled all seven seas, Peking was the name still made sailors' blood freeze. So many young sailors from her learned their craft, 3 masts with square rigging, 1 fore and aft, and young Irving Johnson with camera in hand signed on for a voyage with that hearty band. He heaved and he hauled, standing tall in the ranks of Croats, Scandinavians, Limeys and Yanks. Peking, Peking, the name seems to ring, and to see her in South Street would make your heart sing. Long after the steamers ruled all seven seas, Peking was the name still made sailors' blood freeze. Peking, Peking, defying the odds, surviving great wars by the luck of the gods. This tired old giant dreams glorious dreams. She's sailing forever on a silvery screen. Her crew never aging, she sails for all time in black and white glory, the last of her line. Peking, Peking, the name seems to ring, and to see her in South Street would make your heart sing. Long after the steamers ruled all seven seas, Peking was the name still made sailors' blood freeze. So whisper the name of Peking, Peking. Whisper the name of Peking, Peking. She's still down at South Street, Peking, Peking. One night came on a hurricane, the seas were mountains rolling, when Barney Buntlin turned his quid and says to Billy Bolin, "A strong nor'wester's blowin', Bill, hark, can't you hear it roar now? Oh Lordy, how I pities them unhappy folks ashore now. Foolhardy chaps as lives in towns, what dangers they are all in, now lie a-quaking in their beds, for fear their roofs might fall in. Poor creatures, how they envies us and wishes I've a notion for our good luck in such a storm to be out on the ocean. And as for them who're out all day on business from their houses, and late at night returning home to cheer their babes and spouses. While you and I, Bill, on the deck are comfortably lying. My eyes, what tiles and chimney pots about their heads are flying. And very often have we heard how men are killed and undone by overturns of carriages, by thieves and fires in London. We knows what risks all landsmen run, from noblemen to tailors. So, Bill, let us thank Providence that you and I are sailors. When I was just a little lad, I thought I'd like to go to sea. I became a sailor for a quarter of a century. Served in diesel and in steam, surface ships and submarines. When you've heard my story, I'm sure that you will see why an ex-sailor man is the only thing I want to be. Rather cruise a country road than sail upon the stormy sea. Rather stand on solid ground than on a deck that heaves around. An ex-sailor's life is the life for me. Arr! I never heard a shanty, but the diesel sounded just as sweet. There was lots of comradeship you didn't find on Civvy Street. When the seas are running high, I often wish that I could die a seasick sailor man, such a wretched thing to be. But an ex-sailor man is the only thing I want to be. Rather cruise a country road than sail upon the stormy sea. Rather drink me tea in bed than leave me breakfast in the head. An ex-sailor's life is the life for me. Ugh. So I drank the wine, saw the sights, chased the girls in every port. San Francisco to Hong Kong, Buenos Aires to New York. I was never satisfied till I found myself a bride who didn't want a sailor man, she only wanted me. For an ex-sailor's wife is the only thing she wants to be. Rather have me safe and warm than sailing on the stormy sea. She'd rather have me in her arms than sampling another's charms. An ex-sailor's wife is the wife for me. And after all this time, I don't know what the hell I did it for. Used to seem a good idea, looking back I'm not so sure. But if I hadn't served me time, couldn't really say that I'm an ex-sailor man, never going back to sea. For an ex-sailor man is the only thing I want to be. Rather cruise a country road than sail upon the stormy sea. Aboard I used to draw me tot, given the chance I'd rather not. An ex-sailor's life is the life for me. Many's the time I've sung this song when the wind's been blowing half a gale. Hoisting up a yard or shaking out a reef or hauling on the sheets of a sail. I've shipped on board of a man of war in the merchant service too. I fought for me king and me country while I sailed on the ocean blue. Illy-ally-illy-ally-o, cheerily, boys, cheerily, bend your backs and give a pull. Cheerily, I say, with a long pull and a strong pull, we'll haul away together, boys. Belay every inch of that, belay, boys, belay. On a bright May day we sailed away on a big East India ship. Though it's many, many years ago, me boys, I'll not forget that trip. We said goodbye to Portsmouth Quay, to Susan, Kate and Jane, and we hadn't been a-sailing but an hour or more when we joined in the old refrain.
Illy-ally, cheerily, boys, cheerily, bend your backs and give a pull. Cheerily, I say, with a long pull and a strong pull, we'll haul away together, boys. Belay every inch of that, belay, boys, belay.
Now I'm back from the sea again, I'm gonna put down me roots on the shore. Have a bit of a spell with me long-haired gal, she's the one I do adore. But there's no doubt, should a war break out and seamen be required again, I'll join with me crew, me duty for to do,
and we'll join in the old refrain. Illy-ally, cheerily, boys, cheerily, bend your backs and give a pull. Cheerily, I say, with a long pull and a strong pull, we'll haul away together, boys. Belay every inch of that, belay, boys, belay.
Living in a submarine, hygiene is a joke. You don't use shampoo, you don't use soap. Down by the bathroom, hear the tankies swear, you'd better not waste any water in there. On the surface, on the bottom, or somewhere in between. Really doesn't matter if you're dirty or you're clean. Able seaman chiefy, the skipper or the queen, nobody showers in a submarine. On a diesel boat you got no water to spare. You can't use the shower, stow the beer in there. You're oily and grimy for a month or so. On up Channel night to the bathroom you go. On the surface, on the bottom, or somewhere in between. It really doesn't matter if you're dirty or you're clean. Able seaman chiefy, the skipper or the queen, nobody showers in a submarine. 2 basins of water and a pint beer mug. Get your lagging off and get ready to scrub. Put some green jelly on a scratchy pad. Grit your teeth and start scrubbing like mad. On the surface, on the bottom, or somewhere in between. It really doesn't matter if you're dirty or you're clean. Able seaman chiefy, the skipper or the queen, nobody showers in a submarine. When you're red as a lobster, then you're ready to rinse. Some foo-foo dust will make you smell like a prince. The last of the water's just enough for your teeth. So finish up pronto, make some room for the chief. On the surface, on the bottom, or somewhere in between. It really doesn't matter if you're dirty or you're clean. Able seaman chiefy, the skipper or the queen, nobody showers in a submarine. Next evening at the disco in your sharp civvy clothes, every girl around you starts holding her nose for the way that you smell. There is no antidote. They can tell that you're a sailor on a diesel boat. On the surface, on the bottom, or somewhere in between. It really doesn't matter if you're dirty or you're clean. Able seaman, chiefy, the skipper or the queen. Nobody showers in a submarine. Miner's life is like a sailor, board a ship to cross the wave. Every day his life's in danger, still he ventures being brave.
Watch the rocks, they're falling daily. Careless miners always fail. Keep your hand upon your wages and your eye upon the scale. Union miners, stand together. Do not heed the owner's tale. Keep your hand upon your wages and your eye upon the scale.
You've been docked and docked again, boy. You've been loading 2 for 1. What have you to show for working since your mining has begun?
Worn out boots and worn out miner, lungs of stone and children pale. Keep your hand upon your wages and your eye upon the scale. Union miners, stand together. Do not heed the owner's tale. Keep your hand upon your wages and your eye upon the scale.
In conclusion, bear in memory,
keep the password in your mind. God provide for every worker when in union they combine. Stand like men and link together. Victory for you will prevail. Keep your hand upon your wages and your eye upon the scale. Union miners, stand together. Do not heed the owner's tale. Keep your hand upon your wages and your eye upon the scale. Union miners, stand together. Do not heed the owner's tale. Keep your hand upon your wages and your eye upon the scale.
There's some other son on her doorstep lies bleeding, with no one to give him the comfort he's needing. And sure as her God's high above in his heaven, with 10 kids already, this one makes 11. Though he's wearing a uniform she ought to hate, she cradles his poor head and seals her own fate. For the one thing that binds us when all's said and done, every man dying is some mother's son. Then 12 of her neighbors, apostles from hell, tore her from her family. No time for farewell, no ashes to ashes, no dust to dust, no loving remembrance, This cannot be just. She had daughters and sons, a family who loved her. She was sentenced to death just for being a mother. But the one thing that binds us when all's said and done, every man dying is some other's son. Somewhere there's a family who owe her a life, a one-time young squaddy with kids and a wife. When she thought he was dying, she chose love and pity, a terrible crime in this desperate city. For when some mother's son on her doorstep lay bleeding, she knelt down to give him the comfort he was needing. Now the one thing that binds us when all's said and done, every man dying is some other's son. Every man dying is some other's son.
Well, you went for a walk, sir.
Aye, sir, aye.
And you did the same, sir.
No, sir, no.
It's true, is it not, sir?
Aye, sir, aye.
You cannot deny, sir.
No, sir, no. Well, one says aye,
the other says no.
We are four jolly lads all in a row, in a row, in a row, in a row, in a row. We are four jolly lads all in a row.
Well, you met a fair maiden.
Aye, sir, aye.
And you did the same, sir.
No, sir, no.
It's true, is it not, sir?
Aye, sir, aye.
You cannot deny, sir.
No, sir, no. Well, one says aye,
the other says no.
We are four jolly lads all in a row, in a row, in a row, in a row, in a row. We are four jolly lads all in a row.
Well, she's having a baby.
No, sir, no.
She is she not, sir.
Aye, sir, aye.
It's true, is it not, sir?
No, sir, no.
You cannot deny, sir.
Aye, sir, aye. Well, one says aye,
and the other says no.
We are four jolly lads all in a row, in a row, in a row, in a row, in a row. We are four jolly lads all in a row.
Will you buy the round, sir?
No, sir, no.
And how about you, sir?
No, sir, no.
You will you not, sir?
No, sir, no.
Not one little drop, sir.
No, sir, no. Well, one says no,
and the other says no.
We are four thirsty lads all in a row, in a row, in a row, in a row, in a row. If no one will treat us, then we'll have to go. Darling, you can count on me till the sun dries up the sea. Until then I'll always be devoted to you. I'll be yours till endless time. I'll adore your charm sublime. Guess by now you'll know that I'm devoted to you.
hurt you, I'll never lie, I'll never be untrue. I'll never give you reason to cry, I'd be unhappy if you were blue. Through the years our love will grow, like a river it will flow. It can die because I'm so devoted to you. I'll never hurt you, I'll never lie, I'll never be untrue. I'll never give you reason to cry, I'd be unhappy if you were blue. Through the years our love will grow, like a river it will flow. It can die because I'm so devoted to you. Devoted to you. Pull down, lads, pass the bevy round, lads. Ta-ra to Sylvie, ta-ra to Jean. We'll soon be on the road. Don't think on what you're leaving, don't think on what you found. Just tear off the tilt, pull out the chat, we'll find another ground. Pull down, lads, it wasn't a bad ground, lads. We've made some brass, you've had a lass. It's perhaps as well we're going. I know how it can hurt, lads, to leave us standing here, for there's often fears and there's always tears, but you'll be back next year. Pull down, lads, the sets are cooling down, lads. The ox all packed and the dodgem stacked. A bite of scran, then go. We'll leave it as we found it. They'll soon forget we've been, for we trade in fun and we go and come. We're often scorned, but seldom mourned. Oh, I hope you know what I mean.
Like an organ.
F-I-R-E,
Fire! Every day the flames roll higher and higher.
F stands for France,
And I for Italy.
R stands for Russia,
But what about the E? Stands for Little England, and I don't think there's much doubt. Put all the four together, right in alpha leather, we're bound to put the old fire out.
they were called in from the hillside, they were summoned from the glen, and the country found them ready at the stirring call for men. Let no tears add to their hardship, as the soldiers pass along. And although your hearts are breaking, you must sing this cheery song. Keep the home fires burning while your hearts are yearning. Though the lads are far away, they dream of home. There's a silver lining through the dark clouds shining. Turn the dark clouds inside out till the boys come home. Overseas there came a pleading, help a nation in distress, and we gave our valiant laddies honour bade us do no less. For no gallant son of Britain to a foreign yoke shall bend, and no Englishman is silent to the sacred call of friend. Keep the home fires burning while your hearts are yearning. Though the lads are far away, they dream of home. There's a silver lining through the dark clouds shining. Turn the dark clouds inside out till the boys come home. Turn the dark clouds inside out till the boys come home. I have come to say goodbye, Dolly Gray. It's no use to ask me why, Dolly Gray. There's a murmur in the air, you can hear it everywhere. It's the time to do and dare, Dolly Gray. Goodbye, Dolly, I must leave you, though it breaks my heart to go. Something tells me I am needed at the front to fight the foe. See, the soldier boys are marching, and I can no longer stay. Hark, I hear the bugle calling, goodbye, Dolly Gray. Can't you hear the sound of feet, Dolly Gray? Marching through the village street, Dolly Gray. That's the tramp of soldiers' feet in their uniform so neat. So goodbye until we meet, Dolly Gray. Goodbye, Dolly, I must leave you, though it breaks my heart to go. Something tells me I am needed at the front to fight the foe. See, the soldier boys are marching, and I can no longer stay. Hark, I hear the bugle calling, goodbye, Dolly Gray. Goodbye, Dolly Gray. King Edward the Seventh, whom some called the Peacemaker, died back in 1910. He was buried at Windsor, and in the procession rode the noblest and highest of men. There were 9 crowned kings, 30 proud princes, leaders of many's the land. And old Kaiser Bill rode next to King George, with his field marshal's baton in hand. Crippen was caught that very same year. Halley's comet flashed by, and the first of the labour exchanges was opened the year the old king died. The Sydney Street siege brought 1911, when anarchy died in the flames. In London in June, King George and his queen played the coronation game. A place in the sun, said the Kaiser in Hamburg, launching his new battleships. King George made India, Ireland and Wales places for right royal trips. Titanic was launched on the day of the Derby. London's last horse bus was shelved, and the suffragettes marched, demanding their rights. Then in came 1912. Jack Judge went down to West Bromwich Town to welcome a brand new year. He went to a pub to have a little sup, 'cause he liked his pint of beer. When he'd had a drink, he started to sing, and his voice he raised on high. My name's Jack Judge, I'll write you a song, from Oldbury Town come I. My name's Jack Judge, I'll write you a song, from Oldbury Town come I. Now a Birmingham man was standing near, and he heard what Jack did say. A pound to a penny, he says to Jack, you can't write a song in a day. Jack just laughed, sang another song, and he says, I'll take you on. This afternoon I'll write you a song, and I'll sing it till the day is done. This afternoon I'll write you a song, and I'll sing it till the day is done. Jack laughed again, sang another song, called for a pint of beer. Then he caught his train to Staley Bridge, where that night he was due to appear. And the very first day of 1912, old Jack Judge won his bet. And the song he made and sang that day we never shall forget. Yes, the song he made and sang that day we never shall forget. In March 1912, brave Scott and his comrades died while the snowstorm roared. Then later that year, the good General Booth finally laid down his sword. There were riots in Ireland concerning Home Rule. Mrs. Pankhurst was in prison again. And Wilbur Wright died, the first of the flyers, as the Royal Flying Corps was named. Titanic went down in the spring of that year, taking 1,500 lives. And the Balkan states blazed from border to border as death began sharpening his knives. Of the 1910 monarchs who mourned for King Edward, in 1913 few survived, though some of them lived to a peaceful old age. Assassins took many's the life. Death came calmly to China and Sweden, but elsewhere the murderer's hand struck the Pasha of Turkey, the king of the Greeks, while Spain pursued death's plan. The armies of Europe paraded and postured, the stockpile of weapons increased. At The Hague, as if in grim desperation, they opened the Palace of Peace. In 1914, with more suffragettes marching, the Archduke of Austria was slain. In less than 2 months, all of Europe was marching. Death was in business again. Many's the young man, from many's the family, willingly gave of his all They died in their millions for dubious victory, answering Kitchener's call. But as they marched off to the trains and the troop ships, they sang as they hurried along. And their words echo back from the graveyards of Flanders, singing old Jack Judge's song. It's a long way to Tipperary, it's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. Goodbye, Piccadilly. Farewell, Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart lies there. It's a long way to Tipperary. It's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. Goodbye, Piccadilly. Farewell, Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart lies there. It's a long, long way to Tipperary. They're building a camp on the cornfields at Arlingham, bulldozers churning, changing the land. Acres of tarmac and barbed wire fences, nissen huts sprout where the crops used to stand. Wide-eyed young village girls giggling and laughing at tanks and transporters that darken the sky. Convoys of lorries with fresh faces peering out. So many young men come learning to die. They say you can still hear the village hall band. Grey ghostly couples still glide round the floor, but Normandy Orchards were waiting to welcome new partners for death in the mad dance of war. The ladies have started a comforts committee, but Reverend John's more concerned about sin. Hughes at the White Swan is rubbing his hands a lot, watching the troops and the profits roll in. Eager young squaddies with overdone courtesy, tipping their caps to the girls passing by. But too soon from school to be licentious soldiery, some of the young men come learning to die. They say you can still hear the village hall band. Grey ghostly couples still glide round the floor, but Normandy Orchards were waiting to welcome new partners for death in the mad dance of war. Her mother would have a blue fit if she knew about Lieutenant Johnson and walks in the wood. She's laid down the law, and she's always gone on about men being beasts. So a girl must be good. Even she'd smile at their clumsy propriety, her far too fearful and him far too shy. She might even pity his lonely bewilderment. One of the young men come learning to die. They say you can still hear the village hall band. Grey ghostly couples still glide round the floor, but Normandy Orchards were waiting to welcome new partners for death in the mad dance of war. Peace came to Arlingham many long years ago. Time passing by healed the scars on the land. Tanks on the village green, only a memory. Crops have grown back where the huts used to stand. Yet as I walk in the fields on a summer's night, by the wood's edge, when the wind starts to sigh, I still hear their voices all rising in harmony. Lost, wasted young men come learning to die. They say you can still hear the village hall band. Grey ghostly couples still glide round the floor, but Normandy Orchards were waiting to welcome new partners for death in the mad dance of war. Call all hands to man the capstan, see the cable run down clear. Heave away and with a will, boys, for our homeland we will steer.
And we'll sing in joyful chorus through the watches of the night, and we'll sight our land before us when the grey dawn brings the light. Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea, rolling home to Nova Scotia, rolling home, dear land, to thee.
High aloft up in the rigging blows the loud exulting gale, like a bird's wide outstretched pinions spreads on high each swelling sail.
And the wild waves cleft behind us seem to murmur as they flow. There are loving arms that wait you in the land to which you go. Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea, rolling home to Nova Scotia, rolling home, dear land, to thee.
Many thousand miles behind us, many thousand miles before. Ancient ocean heaves to waft us to that well-remembered shore.
Cheer up, Jack, bright smiles await you from the fairest of the fair, and their loving eyes will greet you with kind welcomes everywhere. Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea. Rolling home to Nova Scotia,